Hey John. So I thought since we weren't able to hook up tonight, I'd send a little tutorial so you'd understand it a little better what may be happening. First of all, let's talk about the motor. It's rarely the motor in a turntable situation. Especially with these are compared to your regular record changer, these have hugely strong motors, so I don't think that's what's really happening, and you'll get it after you see it. So first thing you want to do anytime that you're trying to figure out stuff is make sure that it's not in a cycle, and I do this all the time. So I can tell it's in a cycle because the queuing's down and this is up. So I just turn the platter. This is going to be as freely as yours because I've got it just kind of on a table here. And usually I turn it like 10 times to make sure that, as you can see, the arm is lowering itself onto the armrest. Okay. So basically, it's not in a cycle now. I do it 10 times. I think the manufacturer says 5 times. I do it 10 just to make sure. And then your rest button is right here. So that's when you're going to be playing manually, or when you play start, it does the stack. So when you start it, and you click to start, and then nothing happens, your motor's probably running, but it's not pushing. There's when you took off the rim, you could see the idler wheel. It's probably not connecting right away with the idler wheel, or the idler wheel is not moving, but the motor is. So anytime that something is not working, putting your hand on, see, I just started the cycle, helping it with your hand never hurts it. Okay, this must be on a different size. Okay, so what will probably happen, or what I'm hoping or betting, is that on those times that it doesn't start, you haven't played it for a while or whatever, so you press the start and you have your stack of records ready, and it's not doing anything, just start it, help it along, help it get started with your finger, and then it's going to get started, which means that, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to take off the platter, that, okay, this is your speeds. Okay, and these steps, this is called the pulley, and the motor's right underneath it, and this is the idler wheel, and when the idler wheel turns, it turns the inside of the turntable, which powers your speeds. Okay, and each speed has a step. So anytime that happens, there's a couple things you can do. You can start it out with your hand to help it get started, or it's just kind of, because when you press start, this goes closer to the pulley, and so the motor's probably running, but it's not pushing, it's not connecting enough with the idler wheel to go around and then turn the inside of the rim of the turntable. So first you can try with your hand. Secondly, you're not going to hurt it this way either, because these are really hardy machines. You can just change your speeds. Now see, there's the 33s on the top step, and then 45, then 78. So you can do this as well. See how sometimes it's going to get stuck on the 78. The top is 33, the second here. See this one, and these are not serviced. These are my parts model. So you can see that it's always, and so let's say you're on 33, you turn on, it does nothing. So this probably the pulley is turning, it's just not seated tight enough with the idler wheel to really turn the rim of the record player. And if you push the platter by hand for a turn to help you get started, then it will fall into place. Okay, but you can see that's how you do your speeds, and you can mess with this too, and it's gonna work. Okay, this one has a spring problem here, but I know yours doesn't. So. Okay, so always first, make sure you're not in a cycle. Do your 10 turns with it off, and let the arm go back to its rest, and then start it. And the reason why it worked when you took the platter off, which is really good, because these are really, and though they don't seem like it, these are very basic like this, and it's good to know some of the things. You don't have to be, an expert, but at least you'll know, okay, well, the motor's probably running and the pulley's not, the idler wheel is not turning the rim, okay? So your options are, oops, and these aren't normal, it's just that, they haven't been played for years, and even though they've been completely cleaned and lubricated and everything, and during the day, these things happened as well. But people don't remember that stuff. I do, of course, but, and so I always mess with it. I always mess with them. So, and since it is completely mechanical, all this is completely mechanical. One thing takes another to work to another to work. It's kind of like the, I don't know, Back to the Future, like a Christopher Lloyd feeding his dog contraption. One lever makes the next lever work, and once one lever doesn't work, the other ones don't. So yeah, so the first would be, and then it will just start the rim working correctly, okay? And the other thing is just, you can mess with your speed selectors, and that's not going to hurt either. Up and down a couple times, and then I bet you will start turning that way, okay? I know this is a really messy way to show you, but it's easier when people get what's going on underneath. And so they understand that there's not a whole lot of complication to these kind of issues. The other thing on this is your cueing. And when you're putting your lever up here, let me try to get back a better view of, okay. Okay, when you're turning your lever up, it's supposed to stay. And this little, let me move this arm. This has this little extended plastic piece, and that's where that lifts up the arm. And see, then this, if you can see it, yeah. So I'm going to put it down. Oops. I'm trying to see it through my camera to make sure I'm showing it correctly. See, I put that up, and then it moves up. Put it down, and slowly moves down. Put it up, and down. Okay? So there's a lever. This lever is attached to that little underneath lever that pushes that little, where is it? Pushes that little plastic piece up and down. And that's your cueing. Okay? When I was messing with this one, I noticed that if you, I know you're gonna freak, but this part, your cueing level, see, I just pulled that off. If that is not securely attached to the piece where it goes on, see that? And there's a little angle there. Then what you might need to do is put some glue, and I would put it on the inside of the level. Like, take it off and make sure it's down, and then push it up. Make sure it works like that. Okay. I mean, the connection here might be loose, so that it's not pushing it up at all. Okay. And that's, hopefully, that won't be as complicated or as hard. Because I really like hewing as well. But try these few things. I'm going to put this on a link on YouTube as a private video, so when you we'll put it in my email to you, so when you click on it, it'll just be like a private video for you to see. So just to recap, anytime it doesn't seem to be working, the motor is probably running, it's just not pushing the idler wheel. Bring back. There. It's just not pushing the idler wheel to push against the rim of the turntable. Okay, so you can do your cycle thing, make sure it's not in a cycle, and then and then then you can push the turntable when you start a new cycle, but it will probably work then. Or don't do anything and just mess with this a little bit, and then try to start. Finish your cycle with your hand, like turn it off and finish the cycle, and then you can just start again. But when you took off the platter, that automatically kind of pushed things into place here, so that when you turned it on again, it worked. So it's not really a random like power issue as much as it is, and this, this is pretty much why they developed direct drives, because idler wheels always have problems. Although these, to me, these, like in dual players, are like the best of the best, because of the heavy and huge motors they have compared to like the DSRs and stuff. So and this is completely a Panasonic turntable, because they started making theirs a little prior to this. They used BSRs for a while, and then developed their own. And this whole series is really hardy, and that's why I like them. So I don't think that you're going to have to fear that there's anything that has to be changed or anything. And I would hate you to have to do that anyway, and if it comes to that, we'll work out something. But because to change this motor, it's not that hard for me, but it's hard for people. It'd be crazy for you to even think about it, and I would hate for you to do that. So try those things. It might be just the nature of the beast, because it's so old, but there are usually very few problems with this series. So and always don't hesitate to email me and stuff, because number one, I'll ease your mind. Number two, we'll find a solution. Okay, I hope that helps. Shoot me an email after you view your tutorial, and we can go from there. And we can always do a conference call as well, because if it's doing something else, or it's not the solutions that I propose aren't working for you, then I can see better what's really going on. And I've done a few of these where I was able to fix them with the customer, and it was one of them was this model, not your exact model, but one of the 500s. So it was a, I can't remember. No, I think it was the 300s, a 570. Anyway, in shipping, the idler wheel had gotten kind of up, so we took off the platter, and we went over the speeds and the steps, and everything worked fine after that. So I hope that helps, and let me know. Thank you.